And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ESA Cup. After a break of about 2 weeks around the major in Manchester, we're back with your favorite competition for the console scene of Europe. My name is Wilson Max. You don't see me that often anymore here as a caster, but tonight I'm here with a very brand new caster. His name is Lanex. Welcome. Good evening.
Thanks, Bose. Thanks, ESA Cup, for having me. It's going to be very nice to see these teams playing out today. I'm very excited for this chance as well. So thank you so much also for this. And yes, good afternoon to you all. Good night, actually, to those who are in Europe. So it's going to be a pleasure to cast these teams, man.
Yes, indeed, like you're saying in Europe, because of course you are casting from the USA, and yeah, there's just a bit of a time difference, of course. For you, it's only afternoon, so huge
Yes.
time difference. But you're not the only US caster that we have, because of course we also have Whiskey Glitter, Whiskey Run, some various US people here. But hey, we had a break, like I said. We're back for more of ESA Cup. We're still in the playoffs in the final stage of this competition, and there's just 12 teams remaining. So in about 3 to 4 weeks we will be having a grand final. But before we reach that point, we need to say goodbye to a few more teams. And the first match of today, like after this break, that we're going to be seeing is going to be MolotovGang versus French Power, a BO3 match in the lower brackets, where of course the loser will go home and the winner will progress to the next part of the bracket.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna bring to the table, considering that Molotov Gang MVG they lost to Entropy Gaming some days ago, some weeks ago. So
Mhm.
I want to see the kind of adjustments they're gonna bring, not only to the roster, but also like on the gameplay level.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be considered the stronger side here, apparently, as we see from the public polls and also from other casters predicts. But I'm also already spoiling something over here. There it is. Nanos is not joking. But again,
Ooh.
we're gonna see what they're gonna do. But also we have French Power on the other side, Bose. So I don't know, two
Yeah.
opposing sides, different realities. Maybe let's see how they're gonna play this one.
Yeah, like a bit fewer amount of people there up in the prediction, but one thing is clear: 4 votes for MVG versus just 2 votes for French Power, so a clear difference there. But then, of course, we also have the bigger prediction from the community, indeed, and that we can see right below us right now. Whereas again, a majority for MVG, not as big of a difference as from the prediction, as it's a little bit closer, but still a clear advantage there for the side of MVG. So we can expect something from them. But of course, the big question is, have they prepared? Have they not been sitting still for too long during their break? And also, of course, the map bans are going to be of huge impact, because the map bans, I mean, playing on the right map can be of huge impact for you as a team. And let's just take a look at which maps we're going to be playing, Lennox.
Yes, we're gonna have. Well, we had a ban on Clubhouse, Consolated same way, Bank and Skyscraper being the maps that were not taken to this rotation now. So
Hmm.
beginning with Oregon, which is gonna be very interesting, one of those most picked maps as we've been having the season.
Yeah.
Medium-sized map, very interesting one to be
Hmm.
seen here on the scene. So yeah, I'm excited to kick things off with this one.
Yeah, it's good to know that you know your maps. Like Oregon, one of the most big maps in the scene, perhaps even, but especially in ESA Cup. It's like one of those maps that you like when it comes to BO3, tend to see a bit more up towards the back, towards potentially even the cider map. So just like it's one of those maps that everyone knows so damn well. They know like it really comes down to not make mistakes and just execute everything perfectly, because you don't really see new stuff being brought to maps like Oregon unless new operators, of course, come out or some tweaking is happening, which of course is going to happen a lot in the next few weeks. I believe June 11th when the new season comes out, but before that time we still play on the current build that we are familiar with. And for now, we won't see anything new. But then Cafe comes right after. Again, one of those more familiar maps that we have seen quite a lot this season and in the previous ones. And then Chalet, where everything comes down. If we end up with that 1-1 map point situation to, yeah, well, really crown a winner for this match. So for now, we're mostly just waiting for the teams to be ready, because I believe the lobby isn't entirely full yet. So I guess we're just unfortunately, classic ESA moment. One of the players has lost power to the setup,
Oh.
so of course, without power you cannot play. So that is going to be a bit of an issue there. So we'll keep you updated on how that goes. But for now, yeah, let's just talk a little bit more about the match. I don't know if we have that bracket ready from like the current standings, but otherwise that would be a very cool one to bring up. Yeah. our producer has confirmed. So yes, we got that visual right here ready. So here we can actually see what has happened like in the past weeks. And so like we have already said goodbye to 4 teams in the bottom left, in the bottom, like in the first set of matches of that low double elimination brackets. And then like in the top, we can already see Envision and Ghost Army and MG Ryuga and Entropy Gaming, who will be playing next week for that upper bracket quarterfinal. No, sorry, semi-final match that is. No. No, it's actually the upper bracket final already, I guess. Yeah, that is. But of course, in this week, we will have 4 lower bracket matches, and we will say goodbye to yet another 4 teams. So after this week, only 8 teams remaining. It's going down really, really fast right now. That lower bracket is absolutely killing. It's an absolute nightmare to be there, because, of course, like the double elimination gives you 2 chances, but by being there, you already lost 1. So it's not a place where you'd like to be.
Yes, definitely not. A lot of pressure for results and a small margin for mistakes. That's what the team's going to be facing from today on. And definitely both teams coming here today, like MVG and also French Power, having lost for 2-0. And 2-0, as we know, is a very like painful kind of loss, because especially I would say on the side of MVG, since they've tried a lot against Entropy, they've begin actually ahead on the scoreboard some 3 weeks ago. It was very, very, I would say, sad for them, to say the least, like seeing the match not, escaping to their hands, not being the ideal they would expect. But I would say that they're gonna do better. They're gonna do well this time today against the French Power, as we know, apparently a new roster, a new team. So, I mean, a lot of room for improv. So on the French side. So let's see what is gonna happen. And yes, it's no joke. The prize pool is also cool. So like you got to work hard to push and to get to the finals.
Yeah, it's the big thing that everyone's looking forward to, those grand finals taking place on June 23rd, by the way, if you haven't put it in your agenda yet. But June 23rd, that's where the big thing will all come together, where we'll have our grand finals. Once again, like a huge show with like a host, analysts, and everything. We'll do our absolute best to make it as a pro scene, like as closest to the pro scene as possible, as you're used to with ESA Cup. So that will be a huge thing. I will be quickly checking with our producer because I believe the lobby is ready. Can he confirm? Are we good to go yet? We're not good to go yet. Okay, so it'll take a little bit longer. But like I said, those grand finals, June 23rd, make sure to mark it in your agenda because that's going to be hell of a match. As things are taking longer than usual, I don't want to bore you too long by endless talking, as the quality of talking will get lower and lower. So let's just throw to a little break here. And hopefully, after a few minutes, we'll be back with the actual match. So see you guys in a moment. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the short break, but luckily the issues have been resolved. I wasn't sure actually whether we have switched the player or the player just managed to fix the power issues. But either way, we can finally start with the first map of the day. Apparently, substitute player has jumped in from the side of MVG. But at least this means that we can finally start the game. Due to it being technical issues, there was a decision made that there would not be any penalty that you usually see when we're starting later. But at least we can now play the game. Lanex, operator bands, they're coming in. What's coming in?
Yes, we already see that Montaigne's not gonna be in the game, so that kind of heavy protection that you would expect normally is not gonna be on play here. Ying also taken down. Interesting to see Ying out of this choice over here between the teams, so no flashbangs. It's gonna be interesting to see the next picks that we're gonna have, picks and bans, to be fair, beginning this game number 1, this map, and there it is. Fenrir not also taken for the kind of confusion that usually is able to bring to the table here, both.
Yeah, and Defender being one of those operators is a pain in the ass at the moment.
Yeah.
No wonder that he, and I was going to mention that one afterwards, Solis are going to see some nerfs happening to them in the next season, which was like announced last Sunday, so only 2 days ago, is when Ubisoft did their quarterly presentation on what's going to coming new to the game, what's going to change, and those were 2 very interesting points of interest from the developers, as those 2 operators have just been such a big pain in the ass. We have seen huge ban rates on them, and they have been pretty much present whenever they were not banned. So yeah, very understandable to see them banned again for this match, but in the near future, starting from June 11th, we can expect to see this changing.
Oh yeah, and now finally the prep phases. Let's see what is gonna roll. Since French Power are gonna be, of course, as we see, starting on the defensive side, already setting a lot of their gadgets and getting ready to roll. Warden, we're gonna have interesting operators here. Mira, also to that kind of special vision that he's able to have through the walls. So that's gonna mean an additional challenge for MVG. There it is. We're already gonna see things marching on. And I want to see how MVG are gonna play now with Grim also to, you know, cover those corridors and those smaller areas. Interesting choices.
And the basement, one of those very familiar bomb sites, often picked as first, as it's just one of the best bomb sites in the game. Even it's such a bunker, so many hard walls, not two different ways where the operators, the attacking side, can come from. So it's a very understandable pick here for the side of French Power to start on. But let's just see how MVG will actually go for the offense here. Interestingly, no dedicated hard breacher, but still two operators with a secondary hard breach utility brought on them, so they can still open up those hatches and potentially walls if they wish and desire to. But first, they will need to make it into the building, where already Zerino and the mute there on the backstairs are waiting to find any attacker off guard.
Yes, and how we see now Zerion defending. We see already Sir Nexo opening some walls additionally to increase that defensive level on the side of French Power. They're gonna have to stand up to the classical French tradition of being very strong on the defense. History tells us this. I want to see what they're gonna bring up from now on. Ready, another layer, another round of preparations here. Also managing to keep an eye. We have Rise already checking this trapdoor to see if he's gonna be able to do some vertical choices here with Capitan. Always a nice pick, Bose, isn't it?
Capitao definitely is a strong one, especially like this is the reworks or changes that he had like ages ago already. But he's a very good operator, especially on maps like Oregon. That's where we tend to see him coming out with his flaming arrows and those smoke arrows. Loads of very interesting utility that can be very useful. For now, we're off to a bit of a slow start, right? I mean, there's only 1 minute and 20 seconds on the board remaining, so most of the time has already expired. And finally, we see that first kill happening from Goyo. I mean, his name is Goyo. He's not playing as Goyo. That's very confusing, but his name is Goyo. Gets a kill. So with a kill onto Xello. Xello with a kill onto Zerino. So that's actually a trade happening there. But this leaves us with a 3 versus 4 situation with the last minute now starting.
Yes, nice moments. We saw nice moments by French Power, by the way, taking down 2 opponents, and yes, using the clock to, you know, I would say send the responsibility to MVG, who are now 1 man down when it comes to facing the French Power from now on. And as you said before, Bose, we could expect like some rushers, some stronger rushers. We're not seeing them here, but there it is. The round's rolling, and just like that, French Power resisting his last attempt. Mute on the hands of Gojo, making a nice movement. There it is. 1-0.
I just wanted to say again how confusing it is that that guy is actually called Goyo, because of course we have an operator in the game called Goyo who's actually being picked right now. We can see like after this beautiful replay from the previous round, but Goyo is going to be picked again. But he wasn't playing as Goyo earlier; he was playing as Mute, so that was very confusing. But yeah, as you can see right now, Goyo was being picked. Yet it's still locked in for Kwanga, but it's not Goyo who's picking him; it's someone else, of course, as Goyo is currently playing as the Azami. But yeah, beautiful rounds. Very nice way for French Power to open up the game, right? Like to start this match, this BO3 match between these two teams. And always getting the first round on the board always gives you just a little push in the back, which gives you morale and momentum a little bit, which can be favorable for the upcoming rounds.
Yes, Gojo now trying to help us with the zombie. Yeah, it's ice barrier, not anymore, like confusing us. But there is Gojo, of course, helping the team, and it was a nice effort by MVG, sorry, trying to get close to the bomb site. I guess they almost got there, but then in the end, French Power, they were more resistant, and I would say they played with patience as well, above all. So it was a nice beginning by them. Let's see if that's gonna mean they're gonna also double it up to 2-0. How things gonna roll from now on. Again, another round of efforts to defend, and as we know, Oregon with those very close bomb sides, Red Bulls, making the defensive side a little bit stronger or like in favor. But
For
I don't know.
sure.
That doesn't mean everything, of course, because the attacking side can totally defeat that, can reverse that.
Yeah, defensive favorite game in general, but of course, attacking rounds are also important, and there's always a good chance to win it. And luckily, those happen plenty as well. A 4-2 split would be something that is like a 2-4 split would be something that is generally pretty common on a map like Oregon, but we tend to see 3-3s even, or even further advantages for the attacking side. So it's really up to MolotovGang on how they will do in their offense. With Valkyrie roaming there in the basements, things might get a little bit tricky, especially if they're not aware of it.
Yeah, Rixie, putting those spots to have information. So far, no one is down. And just like I said, the caster's mouth cursing Zillow against Zero. Zillow was the best one with a shotgun. We have Gojo now taking a look at that fire on the ground. A potential breach point here. Nice tracking by Rises. Also behind the cover. And that's going to mean that MVG going to have one man edge now to use against French Power.
Yeah, so we're starting with a nice 5-4 with the first 1.5 minute of the round expiring. So a nice opening here for the side of MVG, getting that opening kill, getting that Valkyrie and the C4 off the board, leaving just 4 defenders left standing. Attackers now having a bit of room to familiarize themselves a bit more with the building, find a way in and get some ground covered. But as Goyan gets a kill onto Flawless, it's the Termites being taken care of, the one and only hard breach. Actually, no, not the only hard breach, the Rixie luckily did bring that secondary hard breaching utility, so there is still some opportunity to open up some walls or hatches. But luckily for them, there is not too much to breach anymore as the main wall already got opened up. Goyan and also getting taken out care of. That's the Azami losing a life, which leaves us with a 4 versus 3.
In a nice effort of combining the movements on the side of MolotovGang, as we see, they all move together. They are not splitting up, at least not for now. So that's going to mean a better trading power eventually, since they have one man ahead. French Power, and let's see how things are going to roll from now on. Mission breach here. It's going to be 2-1, but we've seen Rises resisting double kill. Nice effort to really expel the opponents away. And just like that, fantastic defensive effort by French Power. Holding positions and, again, trading well. Just as I said that MolotovGang, they had a nice trading power, but they totally fell in this one, Bose.
Yeah, it was MVG actually having a pretty good start. Like, they managed to get some opening kills, they managed to get pretty close to the bomb side, walls opened up, but just like the previous round, in the end, a big clutch situation or like a nice way to turn things around from the side of French Power, where they just get various kills in a very short amount of time and then still manage to turn it around into their favor and secure yet another point, putting themselves on an 0-2 advantage.
Yes, and what a nice beginning, right? French Power to already try to change the mindset on MVG. I'm eager to see how MVG is gonna fix this one, because their invading attempts were not that successful so far, even though they were trading better and keeping always 1-2 man ahead. But that doesn't mean you're gonna win the round necessarily. And as we could see, things rolling well for French Power until now. Not changing a lot of their operators. Okay, now we see a lot of them, to be fair, with Frost coming up.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a very interesting area than Nile.
Yeah, and finally Goyo is playing Goyo, so at least we don't have that confusement for this round. So that's one thing I'm actually very happy with, because it's just really confusing. Also the clan tags, like we have Kwanga with the Phoenix clan tag. I guess he moved to French Power recently or something, but still has the clan tag from an older team, which is also a little bit confusing here. But at least the Goyo problem, that one has been solved, so I'm excited to see him play as an operator.
Yeah, and on MolotovGang side, a buck for that breaching power that you eventually need. You're gonna have also Termite, so they're gonna come in heavily, I would say, more of a standard kind of breaking in. Let's see what they're gonna bring, to be fair, because I think this moment of getting inside of the map itself and the compound, it needs to be adjusted. We see now Zerian with information, so he's gonna be able to check who's gonna come from where, and French Power looking to this potential 3-0. They're confident so far. It's a hot beginning by them as kills begin to run, and Zillow was the one to take Gojo down. Yes, again, the kill feed totally in favor of MVG.
Yes, again, MVG starting off well, gaining the 5-3 advantage, but also Rise is getting in trouble and getting fixed off there by Rixie. So 5 versus 3, making it 5 versus 1 as Serena also loses lives, all coming down to Cyrenexta the castle, which his position is completely known. He's completely surrendered, and finally we see MolotovGang waking up, lighting the fire, and yeah, putting their first round on the board. That's a 1-2 score right now, with the first 3 rounds done and dusted.
In the absence of Mira, the absence of other operators who could do a difference for French Power were maybe decisive here, but also Buck coming and stepping up and being definitely a destroyer. I like how MVG changed the mindset now, like attacking in a very combined way. And on the other hand, the French Power could not bring a coordination. We could not see most of their synergies between the operators. So it was a very hard round for them, being totally shredded away by, by MVG, to be fair.
And this is going back to going to the 4th round. We have now had a full rotation of defensive bomb sites by the side of French Power. So they're going back to that very first bomb site they played this evening, which they obviously won. And therefore it's also a very understandable choice, because they're just very comfortable with the bomb site. This was one of the best ones as well. I mean, they dominated pretty well against MVG. But with MVG now waking up and getting a bit more of the hang of it, they kept getting closer and closer until they finally won their rounds. I can highly imagine, and I'm expecting MVG to at least do a bit better on the front and eventually manage to win it second time around.
And Gojo bringing the operator that helps the team to begin the map in a high note, bringing again Mute, try to deny a little bit of these gadgets and electronic gear. We have information on the hands of Nexo, 2-1 for a very interesting map so far with MolotovGang, definitely trying to seize momentum. They have, again, as we saw, behind on the scoreboard, but now there's a lot of time to reverse that. French Power already taking Shimizu down, and that's gonna be interesting because let's see how MVG are gonna start without a man, right? They've never so far until this moment, of course, played with not played with the advantage of like having the equality on numbers. So since they're low now, I want to see how they're gonna reinvent themselves to that.
Yeah, because especially with the utility loss on that moment as well, that's definitely going to hurt their attack a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Of course, they will now need to rely on their drones, really make sure they have that flank watch, which of course is going to be a perfect job for Shimizu, as he is dead and he can watch those cameras, but still, those Nomads air jabs just provide a bit more of extra comfortability, and the extra manpower that they now lost is definitely going to be a problem as well. This is the first opening kill there from the side of French Power in some time, so French Power definitely off to a good start, which also has slowed down the clear of MVG a little bit here, and they will need to find a way to pick up a bit of the momentum and get done what they want to do. Goyo getting injured, not out, he's still on the floor, he can be revived, but this might be the start of MVG fighting back.
Yes, MVG trying to dominate his stairs. Nice work by Rixie, taking Zerinho down. He goes for Gojo as well. So Rixie dominating the middle of the map. Interesting to see how he could fight that one by himself without any kind of backup, and already trying to reverse the negative number situation that we mentioned before, already having 2 men ahead, 1 man ahead to be fair, when it comes to the alive players. And we see now Sir Nexo trying to get information. He opens the scope already. Very, very smartly cautious here to not lose no one else, because French Power cannot, they cannot waste their manpower from now on.
And the only good thing about the side of French Power is that time is working in their favor. They might not have the manpower advantage here, but they do have the time working in favor. Lots of members of FVG still need to clear the ground, the basement, still need to get some control over that. And with the defenders just waiting for them, they might be walking into traps soon. But Raze getting a kill there onto Nexo. It's really falling apart for the side of French Power. But yeah, Rixie then getting 2 quick kills there on the board. He secures yet another round for MVG, the 2nd in a row, and equalize the score by doing so, by putting it now on an equal 2-2 between these 2 teams.
MVG, yeah, setting the pace and adjusting things. And this approach that they just brought to the bomb site, as we see in the replay, was interestingly split up. So they were not always all of them together, like walking in the same space of the map. Rather than that, they prefer like to spread away and like spread apart, maybe dividing the attention from French Power. So it is already a very, very, very nice and consistent response from French Power so far, both.
French Power, who is on the defense, should technically be in the favor here, so only getting 2 rounds so far, or actually 2 rounds instead of MolotovGang, it's a really good start for them. They would like to make it a third, of course, which is even better. But let's say that MolotovGang doesn't get any further rounds, and it will be a 2-4 split in the favor of French Power, and MVG does have a pretty good chance to make things right once they go to the defense. But at the same time, I also want to point out how the prediction from both the community and from the production team was heavily in the favor of MVG. So getting those 2 points on the board from them is also something that would somewhat be expected. That makes me very curious how the rest of this first half will go, how the upcoming 2 rounds will go. Will we see even more points go to MVG and potentially even see them gain an advantage, an unexpected advantage for an offensive half? Or will we see the more obvious thing happen and will French Power at least get a few more points on the boards? They still have this basement, which they cannot play for the 3rd time. They won it once, lost it once, after which they also can still go to the top floor, which they also won.
Yes, pretty even match so far, interestingly. MolotovGang finding their momentum and, of course, expected to do more. As you said, trying to justify the popularity, not only among us here, casting and producing the event, but like also when it comes to the audiences and folks watching us. And we have now the chance to check a little bit more of Rick C doing, of course, droning and doing what he needs to do to grab this information, since it has been very, very hard for them to breach against French Power, but lately not. The last 2 rounds, they're finding their own pace. The chances are happening. They are rolling on. As we see Flows also finding his space to come in, and Zerion, just like that, is taken down. And we know both like how much Warden is essential for defending some key positions, and he's already down. That's going to be challenging for French Power.
Yeah, Warden was playing offside, taking some risk of playing there in the big tower. He did have some rotations prepared for himself in case he needs to make out, but still, the side of MVG was effective and managed to take him out. So that's indeed the Goyo lost. In terms of flashbangs and smoke, there's quite a bit of them being brought to the board by the side of MVG. He can no longer counter those. With at least all the room is cleared, MVG is now really going ham and taking care of all those hatches. Will start to get more and more control over the map, after which they can put more pressure on the actual bomb side.
Yes, getting close to the bomb site is going to be essential. We saw what a bullet by Flows taking Gojo down, confident in that one, and he was very fast to define the bullets and the play itself. As we see again, French Power lower on numbers, only 3 guys. Left Rise also using that elbow positioning to check who may be able to come from that way, using the utility and a bit of patience on the side of MVG, changing their own pace, but taken down. Rise was by Nexo. We're gonna see a very, very equivalent and even end of match here, round, excuse me, in this occasion with this 2v2, which can go sideways, can go to both teams. Flow's gonna be the last one. Let's see how he's gonna deal with this clutch. Taken, oh, almost there. Halfway. Taken on life matters. So next, so we see Flows against 2, trying to get close. Very bold moves, because he could just be hiding back, but he's not. He's fighting back.
Even as a diffuser, he could have gone for the plan, but he really wants to go for the kills here. He knows he's in a very disadvantageous position with the 2 defenders very close to him, so he knows that the plan has a very little chance of success, and in the end he gets found, gets taken care of, and that's again a round here going to the defensive side after French Power lost 2 in a row. They finally managed to regain their momentum, regain their lead position by putting themselves in the 2-3. It would be desirable for the side of French Power to at least get 1 more point on the board. It turns into 2-4, which is a good half for either of the 2 teams, respectively. But with MVG, still playing well as well. They finally woke up after round 2 and started to score some points. There's a good opportunity for them as well. But we'll now be heading likely to that top floor. The one on the bomb side that was played only 1 time by French Power so far, and which they did manage to win. So technically the best win rate on this bomb side. And we'll see. Will it be 2-4 or will we see even 3-3 split?
I would say so far both teams justifying numbers, justifying stats, because French Power are searching, they're winning their defensive rounds so far, as we have seen happening in this championship. 74% of the defensive rounds won by teams until this point. In this map, which has been like the most picked map, as we know, Oregon, one of the favorite ones, if not the favorite one on ESA Cup Season 8. That's gonna be interesting to see how it's gonna be wrapped up, because usually on the competitive scene we see like teams moving up from 3-2 to 4-2 on rounds. Kind of rare to see like 3-3, 4-3. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be very curious to see how MVG are gonna be playing this one. The Molotov gang, to be fair, boss.
Wow.
Let's see.
And also very early big damage onto the Valkyrie with the Boss G shotgun. A weapon you don't see too often, but if it's brought out, it does loads of damage. Zerino getting damaged quite a lot, then getting finished off by Shimizu. So some great teamwork here from the side of MVG, already shutting down that roaming Valkyrie with a huge amount of damage, especially with the C4 that she can bring to the boards. Likely her camera's already placed, but either way, one last player as well. So good start for the side of MVG, a bit of damage done to themselves, but not too much to worry about. From now they can start working on focusing on the bomb side instead, where so Right is playing, however. He finds the kill onto Flawless. So 9 counts is back to an even amount of a 4 versus 4, with the Termite being lost as well, but again, he did most of his work already. The wall has been opened up, and if needed, there's still this bug with the secondary Heartbreach utility to still open up some reinforced walls if desired so. But with the flank coming out from Goyo, he gets the kill onto the bug. This is huge from Goyo, finding himself in a very strong position where he can utilize the verticals made by the opponents. He gets a beautiful kill, walks past the player, but still gets the kill on Cello. What is going on here? MVG is not aware of what Goyo is up to, and it's just doing loads of damage here. Now it's all coming down to Rights in this 1 versus 4, but Goyo finally gets shut down, leaves his team in a 1 versus 3, so he has done a tremendous job for himself and the team. And Rice, who now is the only player left standing here for the side of MVG, is in a difficult position. He needs to clutch if they want to reach that 3-3 split.
Oh yeah, Rice gonna have a nightmare end of round here against 3 opponents, because French power players so far smartly rotating and using the outer areas to, you know, hop from one door to the next window, and that has been confusing MVG this round. Very interesting choice by them, but Rise again almost attacked, almost taken down, using the cover, having to reload and use patience, grenades to make him even more scared and confused, but he didn't buy that one. He was rotating himself, taken down by Rizas, and just like that we have another round for them. So it's kind of an expected wrap of a round, both since they had the advantage in numbers.
Yeah, MVG started out very well with the round, but then the roam of Goyo being incredibly destructive to the side of MVG, and really, like, thumbs up to him. He did a really good job to work the round in the favor of the side of French Power, which in the end caused him to win this round. So beautifully done, which then leaves us here with a 2-4 split. A desirable split for the side of French Power, workable for the side of MVG as well, as they will now go to their defense. I would say 2-4, pretty normal and pretty good split for either two teams. Very workable, like I said. And kids always in the drones. But yeah, either way, yeah, this brings us now to the 2-4, where now the roles have changed, of course. It's going to be MVG on the defense right now, with the side of French Power on the offense. And, well, this is where teams are tested, of course, because you can do well on one side, but can absolutely suck on the other one. So let's see how these teams will do now the roles have swapped.
French Power also attacking a lot when it comes to fighting more and bringing the bullets in. They had trouble before in the beginning of the map when it comes to that, but then they begin like also inflicting some damage and making those fights happen in an interesting way for them. And just like that, we have French Power firing 2 rounds in a row now, 4-2, which is going to be decisive for them to decide if they're going to step up to the 5th round and just like that get close to a potential ROP, or if MGV has got anything else to show us in Oregon.
After the first round here of the side of French Power on the offense, various players of the side of MVG playing offside. Even Mira still working on a rotation here in the big tower towards Attic, potentially for one of the other roamers on the team. Now, it actually seems like she's the only player playing offside, which is very interesting. Not a position you typically see Mira played by Shimizu at the moment. I'm wondering even if she will play some utility offside. She's playing placing some late reinforcements as well, but it seems like she will be falling back to side with only Risky currently playing here on those freezers. They're just waiting for the Ash, who's coming right around the corner. Akok versus Akok, but no, it's the Duck getting the kill as he was in a stronger position, just waiting patiently for Goyo to walk into his sides, and that's the first opening kill going to the side of MVG.
Yes, Gojo down, and more than that, MVG having the Duck, interesting operator, not always brought up, but like very, very important as a sport, as I would say, an additional point of healing and survival for the team. So now MVG potentially playing this one in a slower pace, I would say, since they got this additional chance to revive someone, to rest someone. But again, dictating the pace. That's what I like about MVG. They were behind, but they're not feeling the scoreboard pressure over here. As we have some images, we have also French Power trying to decide how they're gonna attack from now on with one man down, and the bomb side itself pretty much well, heavily defended both so far.
Yeah, especially with the clash in play on the side of Flawless, that's going to be a very annoying operator for French Power to deal with. They lost their Ash. One operator who potentially could have helped a little bit with it, but they haven't really brought anything that is going to be of huge help besides, especially some flashbangs, or maybe the Goyo drone or the bees of Zerino. But the clash is definitely going to be a problem. They need the manpower and teamwork in order to deal with her. But as Saladin also gets a kill onto Rises, it's definitely not working in favor, and the one Mai with a kill onto Zerino, a headshot, leaves the side of French Power only with 2 men left standing. Make that, I was about to say, make that only 1, but actually the side of French Power getting the kill instead, leaving us with a 3 versus 2, but that's the time it takes down, and the clash is still in play. The side of French Power is up for a very big challenge here.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them. 2 players, Kwanga. On the screen, we see him answer Nexo already. Some level of fight also against Nexo. We have his pick over here right now to see what else he can do. A very, very even end of drop of round as we see Nexo take it. Oh my god, that was fast. A lot of fights happening at the same time. And we see some level of response now from MVG. Interesting. The game getting into a even more interesting moment now, I would say 4-3, and that's totally unpredictable by our followers and friends, and especially by staff.
Yeah, so MVG here definitely making good use of the first defensive round onto the very strong bomb side of the basement. So that's at least 1 point there, closer to the opponents, but still 1 point away. MVG now likely going to the top floor. I quickly missed it, but yes, it is going to be the top floor, which is, I mean, the usual rotation, let's say, for this map. And well, MVG is going to do here, like, is going for a defensive round here as well. French Power played it twice, won it twice. Will MVG do the same?
Yes, and MVG with now Lucy, as we know, revealing positions from the opponents, Zami. We have nice combinations to actually, of course, inflict a lot of lack of comfort from French Power, who are gonna have to get back to their best moment. They're feeling, I would say, MVG, they as I said, they did very well in this last defensive round, getting back on action and protecting the spots. Let's see how this is gonna play out, because yes, this map is getting even longer, I would say, compared to whatever MVG was planning for this one.
Yeah, so once again, here the side of French Power going for an offensive round. Defender still setting up the last bit of the offensive utility, playing aggressively in the big tower as well, where they have made an extension onto. So it's one of those positions that attackers tend to take control over, and I see already one in the repel, so it seems to be one of the points of interest for Phoenix, likely for Phoenix or for French Power, but the other side of the team not likely focusing for the main bedroom. But Cello, he knew that something would be up at this main door. He was just waiting and found the kill, very easy kill there onto the ace, with Rises there onto the Reaver, taking care of Cello, but that's the hard breacher loss once again. Luckily, the side of French Power have brought secondary hard breach utility onto that Grim, but we're risking getting kill onto Rises. That's yet again another attacker losing his life, the Ash this time around, leaving us with a 4 versus 3, which has heavily hurt the attacking side.
Yeah, it was a kind of a bold but interesting call by Zillow to hunt opponents down out of the compound, and then, well, safely, of course, got back, but just like that, the following seconds, MVG losing player, and French Power as well. So far, a very, I would say, sincere round, to say the least, since MolotovGang are expecting French Power players. There it is, we have Sereno, we also have chance to check a little bit more of this overall image. A lot of concentrated effort on the side of MVG, and French Power are gonna come hard. They're all all mixed up in one spot.
Yeah, but the only problem for the side of the French power is going to be the Mew Jammers that have been placed. They don't really have anything to do with except the one EMP nade on the Thatcher. Nesto, who's playing at the Thatcher, needs to be careful because his life is very valuable because Reno is able to breach this wall if the EMP nade hits the right position and is now being thrown. This means that Reno will be able to open up the walk-in closet wall onto games, which is going to be very, very useful for the attacking team. But with them losing manpower, that's a big thing. But oh, double kill from Goyo evens out the playing field with Goyo being very low in HP, but the man count is the same. It's a 2 versus 2 with the Rise getting a kill onto Zerino, leaving Goyo low in HP, left standing, and it's 2 versus 1. Finds the headshot into Risky. Does he know where Rise is? Rise is playing very close as far as I'm concerned. He just spotted him for a brief second. He gets the headshot! Oh my god! That's something we didn't see coming at this point, but it's Goyo getting this beautiful, beautiful headshot while it was very low in HP and manages to get the route onto the side of French Power. Last second, beautifully done.
Beautifully done, and Gocho decisive with Flores in this very ending. I think he got to the 4 eliminations, to be fair, if I'm not mistaken. Was already on triple kill and taking Rise down in the last second. So Rise was well positioned, to be fair, both. But then in the end, as I said, triple kill scaling up to 4K. What a player! Being decisive with a lot of operators, being very versatile when it comes to choosing them, especially.
And this is the second time that Goyo brought a significant play to his team, where it really works around the favor for his team. Like we have had the round where he was roaming and got a 3K or even the 4K as well. I believe it was the 3K that won, but then this round, the 4K to once again work around in their favor. That is beautifully done. True FPP so far for this match. But for now, the work isn't over yet, of course. And French Power back on a 2-round advantage, just like when we had the roll swap happen. But they're only 1 point away from the match point. So French Power is starting to feel the victory within their grasp. It's getting a little bit closer, while MVG needs to, like step it up into the game a little bit, get a bit more success going. But it's now French Power who needs to go to a less favorable bomb site. I mean, like you always have the selection of the two, which are the most favorable. You're saving this bomb site for as the last for a specific reason. It's your least favorite. And sorry, I'm actually completely confused. Sorry, it's of course MVG still defending. My bad. We're going back to bomb site, which went against them in the very last seconds. So MVG with the right kind of adjustments, they can actually be more victorious this time. That's what I should have said. And yeah, MVG just going for a second attempt here.
Yes, and interesting to see what they're gonna do, because so far MVG not showing their, let's say, favorite side, right? They were not extremely well attacking on the beginning, now defending. They're not like, managing to put a lot of rounds in a row. So it's been kind of a back and forth game so far, very even from both sides, and French Power definitely closer to this victory. Still ready, took down Silo. We're gonna see 5v4 playing to their favor. Maybe Patience coming to the table or not, because it depends also on how MVG are gonna force movements from French Power.
Yeah, the attackers of the side of French Power getting a bit closer to the bombs, like getting ready to potentially open up some of those walls. They still have the Harbinger alive a little bit longer this time, which is definitely going to help. But with Shimusu then getting a kill onto Zayrino, that's at least a Brava loss. Not the most important operator per se, but the Thatcher, that's one more that's way more important. And with him lost, dealing with those new jammers is going to be a hell lot more difficult. Luckily, he used his EP units in time, after which the Ace did have a chance to open up the wall, which is now happening. But meanwhile, Shimusu did get another kill there onto Goyo. Once again, put French Power in a difficult position, a man disadvantage, 4 players for the side of MVG, 2 for the side of French Power. That's double the man advantage. But as Risky gets another kill into Rise, it's all coming down to Quanger. Not Goyo this time, the clutch king of the team, of the franchise, but at least he will have an opportunity to shine as well. He got the first kill, but there's still 3 more to be found.
Yeah, Kwanga definitely also wanting to put his name on history here, bringing a lot of kills in a row, just like Gojo did lastly, but that was just not possible because MVG managed to rob this one. Luckily for them, losing Zillow, but then managing to take the kills right after. So apparently it's their standard so far. 5-4, what a game. Both a very long one, to be fair, because MVG, they are making some, some baby steps to get back in control. I would say French Power need to wrap this one fastly because their window, maybe it's being also closed by MVG.
Yeah, and the fortunate thing as well is because MVG lost the second defensive round and then went for a third round on that same bomb site. They are now allowed to go back to this basement, which they did win as well. We immediately see this Clash coming out again, who was very effective last time, got at least 1 or 2 kills, I believe, but also caused a lot of time waste from the side of French Power. So very understandable for MVG to go back to this bomb site with at least an almost, or if not fully similar lineup. And yeah, it's going to be a challenge for French Power. They know what they're up against, at least for this time. They know what went wrong, what could be done better. So potentially there will be some opportunities here for them to actually improve and win a round here on the offense, on the basement. But at the same time, it is one of the best bomb sites in the game, basically. One of the strongest bomb sites. And MVG is completely in the element here. They are very, they have gone in for a very good reason. And technically they should be able to win this one.
Yeah, and well, even so, complicated to predict what is gonna happen because it's the last rounds we've seen one team taking, the next one they fall, so it's been very like, I would say, an oscillating kind of game so far between MVG and French Power, and French Power bringing Dream to their side apparently. Let's see if he's gonna be alive for a longer time. Already losing a lot of health points. The one taken down was Lisa's, and a very sincere round from now on. Again, like slowly, but now things are getting clearer. And also French Power are not gonna, sit on the table and, keep this one to MolotovGang, I would say.
Wow, just an endless gunfight happening there on the laundry stairs. A very uncomfortable gunfight as well, as both sides struggle to get the kill, but in the end, it's the side of French Power securing that kill in their favor, leaving themselves in a 3 versus 4 advantage. French Power here. 2 players, however, are very low in HP, no way to heal them whatsoever. So this will be challenging for French Power, but at least a man advantage is going to be favorable for them. But there is still one of those roamers on the loose. They will need to deal with him before they can actually start preparing the bomb site for a further attack. I believe it's Shimizu. Once again, yeah, the mirror backstage with the drone now being thrown. At least they will be able to gather some information and find out what they're really up against.
Yeah, the drone's coming in, and that's gonna mean less of an action. That's gonna mean less agitation and more tactical-driven efforts to understand what your opponent is doing. You see a trapdoor being broken down, but as you said very well, Boz, like a very hard to an uncomfortable end of rounds to say the least. Now with this 3v3, we're gonna see Flow also taking a look at the bomb site itself to see who can come and from where, because it's almost a 3v2, right? We know that Sir Nexo is very beaten so far. Let's see if he's gonna be able to deliver some bullets.
Yeah, but with Shimizu still on the loose, I think the side of French Power is up for a very big challenge here. There's still a mirror on the loose, which they have been unsuccessful to do it. Actually, she has fallen back to side right now, which might actually be the smart position for her to be in right now, as she still has that C4, and she has done a lot of time waste already. So I think it's a good thing, but especially with this Clash here, the Clash needs the backup, as she really relies on team play. And still, this Clash as well. Just a few Zeds will take out Sir Nexo, so Nexo needs to be extremely careful as he's so low HP. Also, hatches still need to be opened up. This really shows how much time has been wasted. Konga's almost forced to go for a hot drop here. Nexo with a kill onto Falls. Gets the advantage here to the attacking side in terms of manpower, but the time is very low, only 10 seconds. The next with the kill to Shimizu leaves Rice all left standing, but gets a triple kill for himself. Secures all those final kills to really work the round in the favor of MolotovGang. The clutch situations that we have seen for French Power, very much possible for MVG as well. And this evens out the score once more, puts us on the 5-5 even score. Both teams being 1 point away from match point. So this is where the match gets very interesting.
Yes, and as you said, the clutching power on French Power's side mostly concentrated on Gojo. In some occasions, as we saw, Columbia trying to kill more. But yes, MVG killing more in this ending when it's necessary, and it was a pretty much aggressive dog, to be fair, right? Like Rice totally, blastily coming from the top and killing a lot of players, and that's gonna just mean that the game's gonna get even longer. 5-5. Very interesting one to say the least, goes over here.
Yeah, with the 5-5, I always like to say the upcoming 2 rounds are basically going to decide a lot. Either in the upcoming 2 rounds, after the 2 rounds, we will have a winner, because then a team wins 2 rounds in a row and it will be a 7-5 or a 5-7. Or we will see one team win 1 round each, meaning we'll go to the 6-6, which means overtime, where the map then gets extended for a maximum of 3 rounds, where we will be waiting for a team to win at least 2 of them to still secure this first map win. So an interesting runner, by the way. Unfortunately, not connecting shots. Nice attempt. We don't see those that often anymore. Spumpies and runouts, but it's always thrilling to see one, especially if they connect. And unfortunately, did not.
Yes, Kwanga try to go for a little bit of an upper action. Try it again from the top. Both sides now definitely being more tactical and patient, because, man, yes, mistakes can actually cost you the map, and it's been already a very interesting run on both sides. Definitely French Power showing their qualities, their strengths, and MVG trying to live to their expectations, to their reputation that they've been beating so far in the season. Let's see who's gonna fall down first, as we have Rizas taking a check at this peak, of course droning it to have that information. So again, a very, very tactical, and I would say a round of patience again.
Yeah, attackers are already getting closer. Defenders barely making that alive as they just pass by attackers who are getting ground control very, very quickly. But then Cello with a kill onto Rises. That's the Ash taken care of. Opening kill for the side of MVG, which is definitely going to be favorable for them here on the defense. And then Rises getting another kill to Goyo. For the very first time, we might see MVG getting the lead here as they're starting off very well. But the round isn't over yet. We're seeing Cello fall here as well. 4 versus 3. At the last minute, the first half of the round now being done and dusted. There's still a lot to come.
Yes, it's 4v3. We have a little bit of an information, I would say, channel by Nexo, being almost taken down. Nexo again losing a lot of points. Tension, being cautious again. Zerino have the 3 of them over there, and a little bit of a chance for Kwanga to try to go for this one, but it was not fast enough, almost for some half seconds. His opponent escaped the line of sight. We're gonna see now 3v3. We have Zerino taking Shimizu, and again a very even end of round. Both sides looking very solid so far.
The destruction capability of French Power is just insane, peeling away all those defensive layers of defensive setup there from the side of MVG, making it almost impossible to play anywhere safely. So that's very well done by the side of French Power, but it also came at a cost. It has cost himself some time, but with Zerino having opened up this wall, he is in a potential position where he can go for the execute. He's being covered by the Buck, who's now also inside. He managed to cross. Zerino getting ready for a defuse, but Impact is being thrown, but Cyrus getting the kill onto Zerino, leaving us with a 3 versus 2, and the defuse lost on the floor. Another kill coming out from right onto Nexo. Triple kill there for him, leaving Kwanger playing as the ramp, all left standing in this 3 versus 1. Only 10 seconds to find 3 kills or to get the diffuser down, which is pretty much impossible. So kills is the best option. Finds 1, needs 2 more. I can imagine that the defenders are playing smart, but risky, just waiting for the kill, getting ready in position to get the kill. Finds it as well. And unfortunately, therefore, no chance for French Power to actually win this round, even though both defenders were very close by. But that's MVG, I believe, for the first time during this match. I believe, no, actually, it might have been in 5th round. No, actually, for the very first time, MVG being in the lead for this match, but then also acquiring match point at the exact same time, where they just need 1 more round to win this match. But if French Power manages to win its upcoming rounds, then we will go to overtime.
Yes, and it's interesting to note Rise in this occasion, rising up, literally being geared up, being very strong. When it comes to trading, he's been the guy. He's been, a very important piece of this offensive machine on the side of MVG, healing and even eventually spending that level of damage to heal even more. And as you said, just 1 round away to defeat French Power and to seize the map. We could almost say, to be very fair, of course, to both sides, almost say some level of stealing effort by MVG, because they began behind French Power. But again, they also found their own momentum. We have to remember that MVG, they have they have hunted this quality. They have even passed, as you said, for the first time French Power. So it's going to be a very, 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 very nice and intense round.
So this might be the final round of this first map of the day, but if it's up to French Power, they will extend it to the maximum and go for that overtime. and therefore in order to achieve that, they will need to win this upcoming round as the attacking team, which is not the easiest thing, especially on a defensive favored map and game. So all eyes focus here on the side of French Power on how they will go for their offensive round. We already see two players having a very quick entry into the garage, but at the same time also the various defensive players playing far offside, Rise being one of those was playing near the showers, getting ready in position to potentially fight any player entering from that area. At the same time, also we see Goyo losing some HP on the other side of the map. So definitely the entry here not without any struggle, but it rises with the first kill onto Rixie, taking care of the Wamai. That's utility lost as his gadget recharges over time, but also Shimizu with a kill onto Goyo, which is the bug, the soft breacher, potentially had some hard breach utility as well, also being lost.
Definitely, and we have Rise again with the team. It's again a very important player, but all of the team making a very collective effort to not lose grip of this one interesting map for them and for French Power. A lot to be studied. Again, a lot of things to be discussed and, of course, talked about after the game. But the game itself is already still rolling over here. Very, very good game to see. Let's see which side's gonna have more trigger discipline. But talking of which. French Power now killing more and having the chance to step over and kill even more players on the side of MVG. We have Shimizu very, very cautious, waiting in his elbows to spot. And let's see what is going to happen, also.
Yeah, French Power is in a good position here in terms of manpower, but Shimizu getting ready to even things out. Once more finds a kill onto Rises, evenings out the man count by bringing it back to 3 versus 3, throws it to 4, guesses for someone to be in the walking closet, but unfortunately no one there, so no damage done, but a bit of damage there onto Gwanga from the long angle from the from Rise, I believe it was. So with this 3 versus 3, with various attacking players a bit lower in HP, they will be a bit up for a challenge here, especially with 45 seconds on the clock. They will need to find a way into the bomb site, get at least 1 or 2 picks in order to get the diffuser successfully on the floor. So big challenge here, and I'm curious to see who will make the first steps to try and achieve this.
Zerion managed to bring his explosive charge very close to the bomb site. Let's see if that's gonna play out. Shimizu killing a lot. We're talking about a clutch by Zerion against 3. He's gonna have to take all of them down. Not possible. MVG finding this one. There it is, Zillow. This Capcan being decisive in the very end. Nice to see that movement. And victory just like that for MVG, not allowing anything else for French Power. And as I said, seizing the map once more, boys.
Yeah, it's a 7-5 win here for MVG. It went really back and forth between these two teams. I would say these two teams were very well matched, as we have seen, like how this match could have really gone either way. But in the end, MVG really favoring the defensive side, where they struggled on the offense and really working things around back in their favor to at least secure this first map points. So that means that Oregon is now the first map that was done, I believe. Let me just take a quick peek here. It was actually the map pick of MVG as well, so it was their own map picks. So in a way, it's understandable as well for MVG to be winning here. Also, the community and the production team all siding with them, but at the same time, French Power did incredibly well. And by getting so close, I'm actually very curious how things will go on the second map, because the second map is going to be Cafe Dostoevsky. That's the map pick of French Power themselves. So there, of course, we will get a new fresh start with MVG, of course, still having the momentum a bit in their back and the morale a bit higher. But at the same time, French Power, they picked the map for a reason. So I'm very curious what they got for us.
Yes, another very good map to see both sides playing on. Again, a very boxy linear kind of map with those rooms that are gonna have fast connections between them. So Cafe, traditional map as we know, is gonna be the next stage for both sides. And definitely French Power, both, as you said, I would say they need to step up. They need to show something more and else from the beginning, not allowing MVG to bring a reaction power as they were comfortable enough to do. Again, the reaction power of MVG brought this result to the table. It was not a lot of things to say from French Power itself, because they did play well, but MVG, they seized the only few moments they had to come back on top, and they were there back on track, showing their power to do better and do more. So 7-5 is a very I would say a painful kind of scoreboard. And the map number 2 is going to show us who's going to strive, who's going to be the best.
Yeah, heartbreaking victor, heartbreaking loss, as the game likes to call it. So that's indeed what happened for French Power here. They got so close, but unfortunately, MVG just fought back a little too hard and managed to win it here. We'll now throw ourselves to a short break. So in about 5 minutes, a little bit more maybe, we'll be back with the second map, Café Dostoevsky, the map pick of the side of French Power, where they might be starting to fight back. We'll find out soon. Stay close. We'll see each other soon. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After a short break, we're back for the second map of today. I'm still Bozemax. This is still Lennox. So welcome back, everyone. And Lennox, let's just talk about the previous map quickly. We had Oregon, where things started to almost seem like it was going the way of French Power, but then MVG fighting back hard and actually securing that win with a 7-5 score. Now we're going to the map of the map pick of French Power, Café Dostoevsky. What does this mean for them?
Well, it means that they're gonna have to combine the efforts they brought in the beginning. They're gonna have to make sure that the middle portion of the map and the end are gonna be as strong as their start. Because French Power, they had almost everything. They had the control of the map. They had
Yeah.
a very nice level of course, tradings as well. But then we've seen that we just saw actually that MVG also did that. They managed to
Mm-hmm.
ramp up, and step up and bring more, and that's how they
Yeah.
responded. So again, the map number 2 is going to be totally decisive. Judging from what we've just seen, both like having 7-5 on rounds, I'm almost assuming we're going to be able to see a third map eventually.
Hey, a third map is what I love to see. It's a lower bracket. It's really life or death here. It's do or
Yeah.
die. So it really needs to come down to like a third map, in my opinion, to really decide who is the absolute best here and who has the right to stay in the competition. So that's exactly what I want. So yeah, please give it to me. I would love to see that. I believe the third map was going to be Chalet. I believe, yeah. So yeah, but first, of course, Café Dostoevsky, map picked by the side of French Power. So it should somewhat favor them. They will be starting on the attack, which might not be the most favorable side. But either way, we have seen how, like, once you have the round swap, how things can completely change in terms of score, just like it did on Oregon. So yeah, in the end, they shouldn't be too worried about it. If they get like 2 or 3 points on the board, then they're perfectly fine, and then they have done a good job. So I believe we're now just quickly waiting to start the game. Should be done soon, but then we can hop into this map for now. But yeah, Café Dostoevsky, of course, a completely different map than Oregon. What is it? Like Oregon, like much smaller, more stretched out, very like what is it? Like not linear at all, like a very complex shape. Where Café Dostoevsky is basically just one big box with 3 levels in total. So it's a very different map that also plays very differently. We will see a lot of teams like spending a lot of time actually ascending the building, as it's also incredibly tall, and the rooftop is just such a good entry point. So Café Dostoevsky, the map that we will be starting seeing soon, is going to be, yeah, it's just going to be a completely different map.
Yes, different map and still one of the most favorite ones for the teams, by the teams when it comes to picks. We know
Mm-hmm.
that Oregon is on the lead on that matter. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, we're going to have Cafe, we're going to have also Night Haven. We have seen a lot
Yeah.
of Clubhouse as well. So these are maps that usually are brought up to the occasion, are on the
Mm-hmm.
draft as a pick. And as you said, it's going to be very cool to see some very nice characters and operators, totally being those good engagement ones, searching for fights. We've seen so far a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Ash. We've seen some good breaching operators, and we've seen like Mira for the defensive side. We've seen a lot of some Melusis, not a lot of Melusis, but like some Wardens
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so on. But let's see how the picks on operators are going to change, or how they're going to be the same. To which level things are going to be, adjusted for the second map.
Yeah, we'll find out soon as the map, I believe. Should I just hold the map is starting? Or not yet? Okay, apparently players are leaving the lobby. There's some issues. Apparently, once again, I mean, hey, like I said before, it's ESA Cup. We can't have matches without issues. Apparently, it's just not. We're just not allowed to have those. So this just means that it just takes a little bit longer before we actually jump into the second map. I was about to say, like, also of course, operator bands. Like you were talking about operators in general. Operator bands are also going to be very different. We can already maybe speculate about those. Like Azami used to be one of those operators you tend to see a lot of Cafe Dostoevsky, as she's just so incredibly strong. Like they call her the architect operator, as she can just play so much obstructive material that just creates loads of cover with her keeper barricades. But of course, earlier this season, we did see a nerf happen to her where her keeper barricades are now actually way more vulnerable. They can be shot and therefore destroyed. So whether we will see her as much on Cafe Dostoevsky or whether we will even see her being banned at all remains a question to me. Or will we see more like of the common bans, just like on the previous map where it's Solace and Fenrir?
Yeah.
While on the attack, like what are good operators? I mean, Ram can be extremely good on a map like Cafe. There's loads of soft floors that can be easily destroyed by that operator. But I guess we'll just find out soon. I guess it's just taking a bit longer and stuff before we can actually start this map, unfortunately. Yeah, so we're just going to throw to a break here. I don't know how long it's going to take, but hopefully not too long. So stay close. It shouldn't be too long. So we'll see each other soon. And welcome back, everyone. The break, unfortunately, taking a bit longer than it should have. And unfortunately, I was hoping to bring good news after this long break, but I don't have good news because something very, very weird has just happened, Lennox. Yeah, let's just go straight through it. Apparently, the side of French Power were multi-accounting, meaning they were sharing accounts, which is of course not allowed to, because that way you can bypass the players registered to the roster. So they were cheating basically, and don't ask me why they confirmed this themselves. I don't know whether they did this by accident or I don't know. They just wanted to be honest. But either way, French Power confessed to multi-counting, which means they have been disqualified for this competition, and therefore the free win goes to MVG. Uh, yeah, this is something that's I haven't seen in ages, unfortunately. So it's very unpleasant that this is happening. Very disappointing because I was actually very excited for this match. It's also very disappointing from French Power to put themselves in that position. But yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing else we can do, Lennox.
Yeah, I guess so. And it was a very good match indeed so far. A lot of interesting things to talk about, etc., and a lot of expectations, especially to the rest of the series. But
Yeah.
again, if they confess themselves, there's nothing else to be done.
There's nothing else to be done, indeed. So that's very unfortunate, very anticlimactic. Like we
Yep.
already said, this match should have been very interesting. But one thing is at least sure: MVG wins the second map with the forfeit win, basically, or the forfeit win or DQ win even, and therefore they will progress to the upcoming round. I don't know if we have the visual for like the bracket, the updated bracket already ready, because then we can actually take a quick look at it. Yes, we do. So you can already see the match MVG versus French Power. French Power grayed out and eliminated, with MVG now progressing to the next round of the lower brackets. Just waiting for an opponent. Either Team Frequency or LDL will be opposing them, but we'll find out later this week, as those teams will be playing later this week as well. For now, there's actually not much to say anymore. We have a match coming up for tomorrow. Let's take a look at that one as well, so we know what we're going to see tomorrow, which is going to be Retirement Home versus MG Aspire, which is going to be a match in the other side of the lower brackets. So tomorrow we will not know yet who MVG will be playing, but yeah, at least we have another match coming up tomorrow. This will be casted by you again, and it's going to be either Mighty if he's going to be feeling better. If not, then it might actually be you and me again for another shot, because we didn't really get to cast today that much, unfortunately. Only one map. So hopefully we have better luck tomorrow. A fair and square match to be played. But for now, I want to thank you for being here. The first time for you to be here on ESA, especially as being mostly like a Call of Duty caster. I'm very happy for you to enter the scene of ESA of Rainbow Six, I should say, and I think you did an absolute great job. So I'm very happy to have you on board. So thank you for being here, and I also thank all of our viewers for watching, and we hope to see you all tomorrow.
Thank you both. It was awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody who watched us. Yes, it was a pleasure, and let's search for more.
Have a good evening.